Hey, welcome everybody. Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV, and here we are with a new game, learning a new game. Here's the pitch, and I really like a couple things about it. First of all, I like the size of the cards. That's one very attractive feature for me, since it helps me because my eyesight isn't always really great. So I'm really excited about that, and it's really straightforward. Only not it's not a big rule book, so you can easily get through it. And I'm ready to start it. Watch my video on 8 hacks to learning a new game, and I'm going to now demonstrate a lot of those. So first roll, you roll 3d6 on this one, and it's red, white, and blue, and I'm going to have to remember that because I don't always play games like that where there's a particular order in that way that's different. I don't really play red, white, and blue games. I think replay does that, but when I play it, sometimes I really don't even worry about that. And I play the old replay that's just black and white d6. So I have to pay attention to that. So Wayne Garrett, let's go over the lineup real quick. I'm playing game one of the 1973 World Series. Why? Because I'm really familiar with that World Series. I play it a lot. It's one of my favorite World Series. Every winter I kind of replay it again, and I played it with multiple systems. The Mets are at A's, right? We have Wayne Garrett leading off at third base, Mian the second baseman, Willie Mays in center field, Cleon Jones in left, Milner batting fifth at first base, Grody the catcher, Hahn the right fielder, shortstop is Harrelson, and Matlack is on the mound for the Mets. For the A's, it's Campy, Rudy, Bando, Jackson, Tennis, Alou, Fosse, Green, and Holtzman, Kenny Holtzman. So it's lefty on lefty. So the first row is going to be a red, white, and blue. So that's a 3. I would go to the third column where it corresponds to 21, right? 2-1, and that's going to be a ground ball to short. So Wayne Garrett grounds one to the shortstop Campaneris, who's up with it, fires a strike to first baseman Gene Tennis for the first out of my brand new first time ever game. And there's absolutely zero expectations. So beyond just getting through a few innings and just becoming familiar with a lot of color here. I got a lot of color in front of me and a big card with a lot of numbers. So I don't want to get overwhelmed. I don't want my head to explode. So let's do it. Here's Felix Mian. Now, Felix Mian is a guy who struck out 22 times, which is pretty amazing, in, I think, almost 700 plate appearances. It's just mind-boggling. All right, so red, white, and blue, the 6, right? The 6 is going to be off the pitcher card. That's the first thing, and then we roll an 11. So 6-11, he's a righty batter. That's right up here, right? Got to know where that is. And that's going to be bounced to, again, the shortstop Campaneris, who this time he charges, fires to first in time. So 2 ground ball outs. I used a blue pen and a black pen. Oh, goodness. All right, and here's Willie Mays, the Willie Mays, in the twilight of his career against Kenny Holtzman, the left-hander. 1973 stats, had a 2.97 ERA, pitched 300 innings. I'm hoping both these pitchers go a full 9 innings to reduce any kind of stress of me having to, go through cards, research who's who, and even though it's easier, and I'm not really that worried about it because I do know both these teams. All right, here's the pitch to Willie Mays. Holtzman winds and deals. All right, so that's going to be a 5 and a 35. Again, off the pitcher, 5 and a 35, and that's going to be a fly. Oh, no, it's a hit. Look at that. That is going to be a hit off the pitcher card. Oh, that's a whole process now, right? It's a hit off the pitcher card. The righty hits it to left field. And this, I have to use a chart for this. I have to use a chart for this. Anytime there's a hit off a pitcher card. Now, Willie Mays has a power chart right here, so we're going to be using that power chart. The power adjustment is a -4. Now, I have no idea what this means, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to become familiar with the charts a little bit. Let's look at the power chart. Unfortunately, when I printed out the charts, they came out in pink because I ran out of ink, so I had to change my ink, but it was too late. So I have to reprint them so they're red, nice, and a nice red instead of this ugly pink. And let's see, where's the chart? I may not have a chart. Did it not print out? These are the charts you have to have for the game. Let me show you. Ground ball chart. Here's the pitch, baseball, page 2. There's some rules here, instructions, which I'm not going to worry about right now. Again, more examples. The glossary, I like that. They use the card, and then they give you the card, and then next to it is a glossary. Because the pitcher card has a glossary, and the batter card has a glossary. This is page 3 of the instructions. More information, batting card glossary. Use home team location on hits. Pitcher card glossary, again in a larger format. Fly ball error chart. Did I run out of? Oh, I may have run out of paper. Let's see if I can bring it up on the screen. That's interesting. All right, so I'm re-rolling the dice here. So it's a, let's see, it's a 2 and a 13, right? And that's going to be a 15. And a 15 is minus, the pitcher is a -4. So that 15 becomes an 11, and it's a single for Willie Mays. 1 to 69 is a single. All right, so we took care of that business. So a 2-out single for Willie Mays off the power chart. And next up is going to be Cleon Jones. Here he comes with his ginormous card. And here's a pitch. And it's a 4 again, third time. Right? A 4 and a 56, and that'll be over here. That's going to be a strikeout. To end the inning, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And here come the Athletics. Okay, so it's going to be Campy, Rudy, and Bando. Here's the pitch. It's a 1 and a 33, and that is a double. If he is a lefty, Bert Campaneris, and I guess it's a lefty pitcher, right? Lefty pitcher, it's a double. If I roll less than 3, I believe. Otherwise, it's going to be a single. I believe that's what the deal is there. And it's a single. All right, so leadoff single by Campaneris. And Joe Rudy's up next. Here's the pitch to Rudy. It's a red 35 off the pitcher. So 4 and a 35, that's a strikeout. Rudy swings and misses at a high fastball. And he goes down on strikes for the first out. Next is Sal Bando. I'm not stealing bases right now. I'm just trying to get familiar with everything. That's a 3-2-5. A 5-25 rather. So again, it's off the pitcher of 5-25, and that's here. And the 25 is going to be, oh, that looks like a home run 8 to center field. So I gotta look and see what that's all about. All right, so it's basically a hit off the power chart. So it's going to be a 6 and a 36. 6 and a 36 is going to be a 43. Off the power chart, -4. Minus, oh no, that was, it's -2. So it's going to be a single. And runners advance 1 base. So 2 singles allowed here by Matlack with only one out gives the Athletics an opportunity with Reginald Martinez Jackson coming up. First and second, one out, and here's the pitch. Okay, it's going to be a 1 and a 32, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Reggie swings and misses at a Matlack curveball. And coming up with 2 on and 2 out is Gene Tennis. And that again is a 1 and a 31, 131, and that's a single. Single, 4, or a triple. So that's what I'm understanding here. So it's a 1 to 4, it's a single, otherwise it's going to be a triple. Now Tennis hit 2 triples. So that's what I'm understanding here. So let's roll 1 to 4, and it is a 4, so it's going to be a single. And it's a single with runners moving up again 1 base. It's an S1. I have to memorize that part. We don't have to look it up. So Tennis singles, and it's kept in the infield by the second baseman. So Campy has to hold at third base. Took a turn, was thinking about scoring, but changed his mind. With 2 outs, it's going to be Alou. Where is Alou? Okay, I got Alou. He's not called Jay here. I think Replay Baseball from the 70s calls him Jay Alou. That was this. I think it was the second season they ever did. They call him Jay Alou. Maybe his name is Jay Alou because I saw that Jay somewhere else. I don't know where else I saw it, but I know him as Jesus Alou. So let's roll here for Jesus Alou, and that's a 5 off the pitcher, and a 43 off the pitcher is going to be a strikeout, and that'll end the inning. So Matlack blows a fastball by Jesus Alou, who dejectedly lets the bat drop, and no runs, 3 hits, 3 singles off Matlack, but the Athletics were not able to take advantage of that. All right, here we are back in the second inning with John Milner coming up, leadoff batter. It's a 5-14, so I'm getting it a little bit better, 5-14, and that's going to be a ground ball. He's a lefty to second base. That is Green. Over to first. Tennis, 1 down. Next is Jerry Grody, the pitch. And it is a 4 and a 35, and that's over here. And that is going to be center field, I believe. Some sort of hit. We're going to look at we're going to have to roll on that chart again. I'm going to have to keep that chart very, very close to me because it seems to come up every inning or every other inning. Okay, so I rolled a 265, so I put the power chart in a special place where I can see it quickly and easily. And that's going to be a 95 result with a -4 is a 91, and that's going to be a double. So that's a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders, roll to the wall, and it's Jackson in center field who throws it back in, and Torrey into second base ahead of the throw from Reggie Jackson. So Grody with a 1-out double here in the top of the second. No score so far. Here's Don Hahn. Here's the pitch. And that is a 2 and a 51. And that's going to be a single, 1 base. Grody stops at third. First and third. Yikes. So the Mets have something going here. And the announcer's getting a little bit thirsty. Harrelson, Buddy Harrelson now with runners on first and third. They have to watch out for the squeeze, which I'm not doing because that's the whole nother thing that I'm not doing. I'm going to leave that for another day. Right here, Harrelson has got 2 strikes on him, so he's going to just swing away. Here's the pitch. And that is a 5 and a 33, a 5 and a 33, and that's going to be a base hit. He's batting righty, so a base hit to left, but we're going to have to roll on his chart, on his power chart. So we're going to roll this again. And we got a 365. 365 is a 107, and a 107 minus 4 is a 103, and that's going to be a double, back-to-back doubles. So that's a little blooper that's going to drop in the corner, and one run scores, and we are going to hold. Runner advances 2 bases on this. I think that's the deal with that situation. Otherwise, it becomes a little bit more complicated than I want to deal with right now. So it's an RBI double. 3 consecutive hits off Holtzman right here. And that's a surprise. Here's John Matlack with second and third. Infield's going to play back because Matlack can't swing for his life. That's going to probably be a strikeout, a 42, and that is a strikeout. So Matlack is a quick victim and heads back to the bench with a bat on his shoulder with 2 outs now. The Mets have an opportunity here for Wayne Garrett to drive in 2 runs and give the Mets a 3-0 lead. The Mets lead at 1-0 here in the top of the second. Using Here Is the Pitch. And let's do it. It's Holtzman checks in with Fosse, and he sets and deals. So it's a 6 and an 11, and 11 is going to be a ground ball to the second baseman, Green. He's up with it, sidearms it to first in time, and that retires the side. 1 run on 3 hits. The Mets lead at 1-0 with the A's coming to bat. All right, it's Fosse, Green, and Holtzman. That's a 3-11, and that struck him out. Ray Fosse swings and misses at another John Matlack curve. Here comes Dick Green, 1 down. Green with a 431 and a 431. That's a check swing. They check with the first base umpire. He went around, rings him up, and Green doesn't like it. 2 down. And here is the pitcher card. Let's see. So what I gave him was pitcher 4 because I know Holtzman had a really good season, so I'm going to be using this section here. And that is going to be a 146, and that's going to be a tapper right back to the mound to end the inning. So no runs, no hits. 3 up and 3 down for Matlack. We go to the top of the third. The Mets lead Game 1 of the 1973 World Series, 1-0. All right, it's going to be Mian, Mays, and Jones, the pitch from Holtzman. It's a 252. So a 252, and that's a fly ball left field. Racing in is Rudy, and Rudy with a magnificent grab. Rudy's known for his gold glove out there. Outstanding fielder. And here's Willie Mays. Gets a big contract in the late 70s with the California Angels. Plays with them through the early 80s. I never really saw him as a guy who maximized his potential and became a superstar in his own right. Just somebody, that would hit 30 home runs and bat 300 and play great outfield. And he played great outfield, and he kind of batted 260 and hit some 15, 16 home runs, that sort of thing. Here's Willie Mays is up, who singled earlier. So that's a 566. So 566 is going to be, Willie Mays is batting righty, and that'll be a fly ball left field again. Rudy this time just takes a couple steps back, and he squeezes it for out number 2. And here's Cleon Jones, pitch to Jones, and that's a 132. 132 check swing, and they ring him up. Thought he stayed back, but no. And that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the third. Top of the order, Campy, Rudy, and Bando coming up. All right, Campanella singled earlier, and that's a 1 and a 31, 131, and that's going to be a drive into the corner, and that's going to take an odd bounce away from the he's a righty, so that's going to take an odd bounce. And Campaneris around second is going to try for third. He slides in ahead of the throw with a triple. So Campaneris with a leadoff triple, 31-31. Yikes. He hit a bunch of triples, I'm sure. He had 6 triples. That's the only number he'll hit a triple on. And it has to be on that 1. It can't be on the 2 or the 3. All right. So here's Joe Rudy. Infield will be in for the Mets. That means I need a chart. We'll see what happens. All right, so it's going to be a 242. So that's off Rudy, a 242, and that's a base on balls. So he walks them. Rudy walks. That puts runners on first and third. Remember, the Mets lead at 1-0, and Sal Bando's up. Infield continues to be in, and it's a 121. So 121 is a base on balls. Oh boy. So Matlack has gotten himself into a situation allowing a leadoff triple and now back-to-back walks. I mean, the A's had, a little bit of a dynasty. Here's Reggie Jackson. We're going to pull the infield halfway, looking for that double play now. We want to prevent the big inning now because this could be horrendous for the Mets. So here goes Matlack, looks into Grody with the sign, and here's the pitch, and it's a 241, and that's going to be ball four, and that's going to force in a run. Yikes. Game is tied, and the bases are still loaded. So Jackson takes ball four, and run comes home. Game is tied at 1 apiece here in the bottom of the third. Playing here's the pitch baseball, and it's Gene Tennis. And feels halfway again, looking for that double play of 434. So 434 struck him out. Big strikeout for Matlack right here in a crucial situation. Gene Tennis with good power, single in the first. So that was a big batter to get. The first out of the inning, bases still loaded. Here comes Jesus Alou. Jesus Alou batted, what did he do here? Let's learn to see. 306 batting average. 100 at bats, 33 hits. Interesting. All right, here's Jesus Alou against John Matlack, bases loaded, infield halfway, looking for that double play, willing to concede the go-ahead run now. Just want to get out of this inning. So it's a 453, and that's going to be a 453, and that is a ground ball to the, ground ball. He's a righty, so it's a ground ball to the shortstop. This could be a double play. Now here it is, the bases loaded, ground ball. It's to the shortstop. So it's going to be 6-4-3, double play. And now there's a bunch of other stuff here. It could be I guess this would be if I'm not sure what this is all about. 2-4 double play, runner out at home, batter out at first base, which would also be a double play. Safe batter if steal rating is a 6+, which it is not. So if Alou is a really fast runner, he would beat that out. But I think only on rolls between 2 and 4, right? And I believe on this one, I'm not sure if I'm rolling a D6 or a D or 2 D6s. It may be 2 D6s because what looks like here is everything seems to be 2 D6s, I believe. Because it goes up to, some of them are 10 to 12, some of them are 2 to 5, some of them are 2 to 8, 2 to 7. So yeah, it would have to be 2 D6s. So 2 D6s, this happens. So I'm not going to roll for that because nothing would change other than where I go with the ball for the double play. So I'm not going to worry about that. So it's a double play. The Mets get out of the inning. It's a 6-4-3 double play. And one run on one hit, really, the triple. And, of course, he came in on a base on balls, and that ties the game at 1 apiece. We go to the top of the fourth. It's Milner, Grody, and Hahn coming up. And stay tuned for Game 1 of the 1973 World Series using Here's the Pitch Baseball. All right, here comes Milner, Grody on deck, and Hahn in the hole. Pitch from Holtzman. It's a 6 and a 54, and that's going to be a ground ball, second base. Scooped up by Green, and lofts one over to the first baseman to get Milner with plenty of time. Here's Grody next, and that is a 556. So 556, and that is he's a righty, so he rips one to third. Bando backhands, long throw to first in time. So 2 away on 2 grounders. And here's Don Hahn. And that's a 433. And a 433 is going to be, again, we're going to check for a hit. We got to roll again. and he was -4, so it's a 125. 125, and that's an 11. An 11 minus 4 is a 7. And it's going to be a bouncing ball up the middle and through for a base hit. So Hahn is 2 for 2 today. Having a good day, getting the rolls. Don Hahn with 2 outs, and here's Buddy Harrelson, who doubled. Pitch from Holtzman. It's a 632. 632 is a bouncer to the. He's batting lefty righty. He's batting righty, so it's a bouncer to the shortstop. No, it's a bouncer to second base. If he's a righty, it's a bouncer to second base. He's batting righty, switch hitter against the lefty. So he hits it to the opposite field. Up with it is Green, and Green throws out. Harrelson, no runs, 1 hit, 1 left, and we move to the bottom of the 4th, 1-1, all tied up. In the 4th, it's the bottom of the order for the A's, Fosse, Green, and Holtzman. All right, here's John Matlack against Fosse. That's a 5-16, and a 5-16 is, again, we're going to check the hit. So we're going to roll on the power chart. He's a -2, and that's a 465. 465 is a 26. 26 minus 2 is a 24, and that's a ground ball hit through the hole for a leadoff single for Fosse. Grounds one past Harrelson, who made a valiant effort but could not reach that. Here's Green. Now, normally I'd be bunting in this situation. They have a bunt number right up here at 2, but I'm not going to bunt with Green. And I'm not going to hit and run with him either. This batter doesn't have much speed from what I understand. Run is a 1. So I don't know that means that. But anyway, we're just going to swing away right now. We're learning the game. We're focused on learning the game. 332. So that's a 3, and a 32 is a ground ball to short with a runner on first. And Campaneris, what did we say he was? I'm sorry, not Campaneris, Harrelson. Harrelson's a 2. So runner on first, double play. So it's a double play. It could be a line out, runner on second picked off. If I roll it. Oh, it's a 10, and it's a line out, runner on second picked off. VP, first base runner gets back. Wait a second, I'm looking at the wrong place. There's only a runner on first base, and I was looking at first and second. Okay, runner on first. Second base, first base, at batter steal. Now there's nobody. Oh, the steal rating. Fosse steal rating is definitely not that high. So check pitcher efficiency. Fielder's choice. So no, it's going to be a batter out. Check pitcher efficiency. There's a lot of extra stuff here, which I'm going to bypass right now since it's my first run through on this game. So it's going to be a double play. It's going to be a 6-4-3 double play, and it's going to be Holtzman. Just modeling some of what I talk about in my 8 hacks for learning a new game. All right, so it's a 111, and then it's going to be we roll here. It's going to it's a base on balls. 111 is a base on balls for Holtzman. So Holtzman had a good batting average. He had a good series hitting wise. Had a bunch of doubles, and if you look at his APA cards, he has 6s all over. Here's Campaneris, 2 out, runner on first, and it's a 2 and a 12. So 2 and a 12, and that's a BL. I have no idea. Does that mean ball? Does that mean balk? I don't know. I gotta look that up. Yep, that's a ball. So we're gonna roll again. Let's do it again for Campaneris. Switch hitter. No, not a switch hitter. Righty hitter. So it's a 134. A 134, and that's going to be a double. And runners will advance 2 bases. So Cabaneras is going to be 3 for 3, and that moves Holtzman to third base. And it's a little check swing blooper in the gap, and that's going to bounce high and hustling into second base ahead of the throw from the right fielder Hahn is Campaneris. That puts runners on second and third. Again, Matlack is in a situation. And Joe Rudy's at the plate. He's struck out and walked. Here's the pitch. And that is a 123. Oh boy, a 1 and a 23 is going to be a fly ball center field. On the run is Mays backing up towards the track, and Mays comes up with it. A great catch by Willie Mays, transporting us back to Say Hayes' glory years. So no runs, 2 hits, and a walk, 2 left. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. It's the bottom of the order, Matlack, Garrett, and Mian. All right, top of the 5th, Matlack leading off. Pitch from Holtzman, 73 World Series. And it's a 235, and that's a strikeout. Second time Matlack strikes out against Holtzman. Wayne Garrett is up next. That is a 6 and a 62, and that will be a fly ball to right field. Actually, no, to left field. So that's like a reverse. It's a reverse type split there. And it's Felix Mian. And that is a 5 and a 52. 52 is a ground ball to third base. That's Bando. Throws him out, 3 up and 3 down. Super easy inning for Holtzman. Being tied at 1, Bando coming up. Bando, Jackson, and Tennis. And it's a 532, and it's a strikeout. Bando goes down on strikes for the first out. Reggie Jackson for 1 with a walk. And it's a 462. And it's a 462, and that's a fly ball center field. Willie Mays, he's there for out number 2. And it's Gene Tennis with 2 out, nobody on, 1-1, bottom of the 5th. All right, and it's it's a 6 and a 61. 6 and a 61, and that is popped up. Back goes Mian and Harrelson. In comes Mays, and Mays takes it for the third out. 3 up and 3 down. Easy inning for Matlack. 1-1, we go to top of the 6th. Top of the 6th, Willie Mays leading off. Kenny Holtzman with the pitch. It's a 5-12. 5-12, and that's a bouncer to short. Campaneris gloves it and lets her fly over to Tennis at first for the first out. Cleon Jones now bats from the right side. That's right up here. And it's a 565. And that's going to be a fly ball. He's a righty, and he'll send it to left field. Joe Rudy, a couple of steps back, and squeeze it for out number 2. Here's Miller, lefty. And that's a 1 against a 1 and 36, and that'll be a bouncer to second base. Right there is Green. Sidearms it to first to end the inning. Go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Alou, Fossey, and Green, bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Pitch. And it's a 446, and that's going to be a strikeout. Alou goes down swinging. Next up is Fossey. He's 1 for 2 with a single. And that's a 444. And that's back-to-back Ks. Curveball gets him. So Fossey strikes out for the second time. Matlack has a bunch of strikeouts. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 strikeouts for Matlack so far. Here's Dick Green. That's a 233. And 233, that's a strikeout, and that retires the side. So Matlack strikes out 3 in a row in the bottom of the 6th. So it seems like he's getting better as the game goes on. Go to the top of the 7th now. Game tied at 1 apiece. Kenny Holtzman versus Jerry Grody, Hahn, and Harrelson. And that is a 6-26. And that will be a fly ball center field. That drives center fielder Jackson back a couple of steps, and that'll be an out. Torrey hit one hard in the second inning, picked up a double. Here's Don Hahn, who's 2 for 2. Having a good day. Pitch from Holtzman. That's a 233, and that's going to be a hard hit ground ball up the middle, and Campaneris dives back on his feet, fires the first in time. Great play by Bert Campaneris. Wow. All right. And here comes Harrelson, Buddy Harrelson, who is 1 for 2 with a double in the second inning. That's a 265, and a 265 is a high fly. And that is, he's batting a righty, so that's the left field. Rudy, he's there. That retires aside. 7th inning stretch, so go grab that last brewski. 1-1. Excellent game. Here's the pitch baseball. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel for more excellent content. All right, pitcher hitting card. We're going here. All right, and that's a 531. That's going to be off the pitcher. 531's a strikeout with an asterisk and a 4. Got to roll one die, otherwise it's got to be within the 4 for a strikeout. And it is. Strikes him out. And that's Matlack down on, I'm sorry, it's down here. It's Holtzman down on strikes. Trying to complete game with both sides. We should be up bottom of the 7th. It is Campy leading off. Here's pitch. And it's a 621. 621, and that is a base hit to, we got to see what kind. It's going to be to left. Let's roll again on the power chart. It's a -2. So it's a 262, and that's a 92. -2 is a 90. And it's going to be a fly ball, shallow right center field, and that's going to drop in. I'm sorry, left center field. That's going to drop in for a double. So Campaneris picks up a 2-base hit here in the bottom of the 7th. That puts the go-ahead run in scoring position, and it's Joe Rudy. Joe Rudy 0 for 2. John Matlack checks in with Grody, and he likes what he sees and deals. And that is a 654. And a 654 is going to be a ground ball to second base. Mian over to first, and that allows the go-ahead run to third. So with 2 outs here, John Matlack's going to face Sal Bando, the right-hander. Bando today is 1 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. Bando struggled, Matlack struggled early in the first 4 innings. He struggled in almost each inning except the second inning, in which he got 3 outs, 3 consecutive outs. He struck out 2 and then got a ball coming back to him. But the first he gave up 3 hits. The second he gave up 3 walks and a triple. The third he gave up 2 hits and a walk. Was saved by a big double play. But then in the 5th, 6th, he's just done nothing but get stronger. So we're going to let him face Bando. I don't really know. Let's see. 8x. I'm not sure. All right, here is John Matlack versus Sal Bando. Go ahead and run as at third base and Campaneris. And let's do it. That's going to be a 443. And struck him out. Big K for John Matlack. That is number 9, 10, 11 on the day. Wow. Struck out a ton of batters. And no runs, 1 hit, 1 left. And the threat goes by the wayside. Matlack gets out of that situation, and he will be batting here, leading off the top of the 8th inning. We're keeping him in the game. And that's a 656, and that's a ground ball. He's a lefty batter. That's a ground ball to the first baseman. Tennis steps on the bag. Easy out. 1 out. Top of the 8th, all tied at 1. World Series game 1. So 134. 134, and that is a drive to center field. On the run is Jackson, and Jackson comes up with it. So Garrett got good wood on it and drove it, but it was Jackson who read it well off the bat and was able to get to it for out number 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. And here's Felix Millan, 0 for 3 today. He's grounded out, flied out, and grounded out again. And it's a 661, and that's popped up. Right field. Out there is Alou, under it, and that retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th, all tied at 1. World Series game 1. Excellent. All right, Reggie Jackson. If there's any guy that you want to proceed with caution against, it's Reggie Jackson. Pitch from Matlack. It's a 5.54, and that's going to be a ground ball to the first baseman, Milner, the hammer. And he steps on the bag ahead of Jackson for out number 1. Here's Gene Tennis. Tennis today is 1 for 3 with a single in the first inning. Here's a pitch. It's a 264. 264 and a check swing. They check with the first base umpire. He went around, and Gene Tennis goes back to the bench mumbling to himself. Does not agree with that. Felt he held up. And 2 out, and Alou is from Matlack. It's a 60-14, a 6-14, and that is base hit. So he's a righty, so that'll be a base hit to left. We're going to roll on the power chart, and it's a 324, and that's a 34. Minus 2 is a 32, and that will be lined to center for a 2-out single, the first hit of the game for Jesus Alou, who is actually a pretty good hitter in 1973, batted 300 in 100 at bats. So 2 out, 1 on Ray Fosse. And it's a 3.15, and 3.15 is a ground ball up the middle and through, and stopping at second is Alou. Charging hard is Mays, keeps him at second. So again, with 2 outs, Matlack has a situation, a predicament with runners on first and second, and Dick Green, the batter, pitch, and it's a 6 and a 31, and that struck him out. Curveball gets him. That is 13 Ks for John Matlack. Wow. All right, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Top of the 9th, Willie Mays leads off. He's 1 for 3 today against Kenny Holzman. Here's the pitch. It's a 3.14, and that's a ball. That's a ball, or a balk. No, it's a ball. All right, so ball 1. Mays again. It's a 3.56. So a 3 and a 56, and that's ball 4. So he loses him. Holzman, ball 4 on a full count. And here's Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones, bunt, steal, and run. Where's this hit and run? I wonder if there's a hit and run. Got to look into that. But right now we're just going to swing away. All right, here's a 6.52. And that's going to be a ground ball. He's a righty to the first with a runner on first. All right, so we're going to check. We're going to see if we roll 2 to 8 pitcher efficiency rating. Efficiency rating on the pitcher is a 7. So that is a 9. So it stays at a double play. It's going to be a 3.63 double play right here. It's higher than 2 to 8, so I don't have to check the efficiency rating. and his base stealing is not high either. So it's going to be a 3. It says 4-3. I don't understand that. Double play was hit to the first baseman, so it's a 3. I'll make it a 3-6-3. For some reason, there's a lot of everything's to the second baseman here. But I'm going to make it a 3-6-3. Big double play for the A's. The Mets had one, so it's only fitting that the Mets now have one against them. In other words, the Mets had one work against them, and now the Mets have one work against them. So nobody on, 2 outs. Here's John Milner, who's got good power, by the way. And that's a 422. And a 422 is a pass ball, but there's nobody on there, so that'll be like a wild pitch or whatever. Not a wild pitch, just a outside ball. And it's a 213. And that's up here, and that is, less than 4. It's a walk. Otherwise, it's a ball. It is a walk. So another walk allowed by Holtzman in the top of the 9th with Milner on at first. 2 outs, Milner at first on a base on balls. Kenny Holtzman faces Jerry Grote, who's doubled today. And that's a 462. And curveball got him. Strikes out Grote. We go to the bottom of the 9th. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, all tied at 1 apiece. It's going to be the pitcher leading off, then Campy and Rudy. So we're going to have to see about a pinch hitter. All right. Let's see. Darren Johnson versus John Matlack, bottom of the 9th. And this will probably be the last inning for John Matlack as well for the Mets. Kenny Holtzman is out. Outstanding game for Kenny Holtzman. He pitched 9 innings, gave up only 1 run. How many hits? Did not give up a lot of hits either. 5 hits from what I see. All right, let's do it. Here's the pitch. John Matlack to pinch hitter Darren Johnson, a right-hander, who batted 73, batted 246, hit 19 home runs in 460 at-bats. All right, so that's a 351. And for an APA player, it's really hard to read the red and the white in reverse, by the way, if you're an APA player, because in APA it's red and then white. So I'm having to really struggle with that throughout the game. So it's going to be a column 3 and a 51, and that's going to be a base on balls. So Darren Johnson walks to lead off the bottom of the 9th. It's all tied at 1 apiece, and it's Bert Campaneris, and I must bunt in this situation. I could bring in a pinch hitter, a pinch runner as well, which I should, but I just got a bunt. Okay, so Campaneris is a 2 bunter, so I'll be checking out column 2 of the black. Oh, this is a squeeze. This is the sacrifice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's do it. Let's roll 3 dice. And the first red die will indicate the fielder. It's going to be 6, the first baseman. And then it's going to be a 42. You add them up, it's a 6. So he's a 2, and a 6 is a 1. Missed pitch, strike, no play. All right, let's do it again. He's going to square the bunt again. And a 2 this time. This time is right in front of the plate, so the catcher, Grote, is going to be on it. And it's an 8. And he's a 2 bunter, and that's a 2, which is a good bunt. Runner advances. All right, so that was good. Once you memorize a couple of those numbers, life will be much easier, so it's a good sacrifice. And Grote has 1 play, and that's the first base. Second baseman Mian is over there covering. Going to second is Johnson. Again, like I said, I could have, what did I do here? Did I put Johnson right here? Yeah. All right, give me a second. Because Johnson's running rating is a 2. All right, so Darren Johnson's a second base. I'm not going to worry about a pinch runner because there's a couple of things that I don't really have anybody much better than a 2 except for North, and I don't know that North is actually on the roster in the World Series. I believe that he was not. And I don't seem to have any pinch runners. I know they had in 74. I know they have Herb Washington. Anyway, it's going to be Good bunt by Campanera, so he does his job. He moves the winning run to second base, and it's going to be Joe Rudy's up. Here's a pitch from Matlack, and it's a 214. And the 214 is going to be a ground ball second base. That will allow the runner, and I do that automatically, to move to third. So a bouncer to second, picked up by Mian. Moving to third is Johnson. And here comes Salbando. Salbando with the winning run at third base. Again, he had that situation earlier, I believe. Yeah, he had that happen to him in the seventh inning. It was second. It was actually runner on third, and he struck out. Let's see what happens. See what Matlack can get to happen here. So Matlack looks in for the sign, and he shakes off Grody. Grody's going to come out and talk to Matlack for a split second. And Matlack sets and deals. Pitch to Bandits, a 324. And a 324 is a ball tapped right back to the mound. Matlack gets a hold of it and over to first, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, a walk, one left, and we go to the top of the 10th inning. All right, so we got Darryl Knowles in the top of the 10th facing off against Don Hahn, Buddy Harrelson, and a pinch hitter. It looks like Jim Beauchamp is picking up a bat. And let's do it. Playing, here's the pitch. That's a 336. So it's a 3 and a 36 is a bouncer to Green, and he throws out Hahn for the first out. Darryl Knowles is known for being the only relief pitcher in history to pitch all 7 games. Here's Buddy Harrelson, and that's 3 and a 25, and that should be here, 325, and that is a ground ball. He's batting righty, so that'll be to second base. So back-to-back grounders to Dick Green. And next is Jim Beauchamp, the pinch hitter. So that'll be the end of Matlack's day. Had a great day. 9 innings, hits 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 hits. And a bunch of strikeouts. I think he struck out, 13. Wow. Big strikeout day for John Matlack. And walks, he had a little wild side to him. That's 4 walks in the game. Only 1 run, 1 earned run. And here's Darryl Knowles against Jim Beauchamp. It's a 436. And Beauchamp is a righty, so it's a 4 and a 36 is ripped to short, scooped up by Campaneris over to first, and that retires the side. So after 9.5, it's 1-1, 3 up and 3 down in that inning, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Tug McGraw is now in the game in the bottom of the 10th for the Mets, facing the lefty Jackson. Here's the pitch from Tug McGraw. It's a 552. A 552 is a ground ball to the hammer at first. He takes it and steps on the bag ahead of Jackson, so it's easy out for Tug McGraw, and he retires the dangerous hitter Reginald Martinez. Jackson. Tennis now. Tennis today is 1 for 4 with 2 Ks, a flyout, and a single. And it's a 466. And that's going to be a little number in front of the plate. Grody pounces on it, picks it up, gets an angle, throws over to first for out number 2. So Tennis gets on top of the ball and beats it into the ground right in front of the plate. Grody was able to get to it quickly. And here is McGraw against the righty, Alou. Alou's got a hit today. He's 1 for 4. That's a 663. The 663 is going to be an error opportunity. Looks like it's a one base error. Now let's grab that error chart. Hold on. All right, so this is super easy. Just roll 3 dice again, and the red is going to tell us what infielder. It's a 4, which is the second baseman, and second baseman is Mian. Mian's error or fielding number is a 2. So for a 2, it's a 2 to 9. There's an error, so we're going to roll 2D. And it's a 10, so there's no error. And that retires the side. 4-3. 3 up and 3 down. Mian bobbles it for a second, but then gets a grip and throws out Alu. And we go to the top of the 11th inning. No runs, no hits, all tied at 1 apiece. All right, so Wayne Garrett versus Darryl Knowles, lefty on lefty. And it's a 6-31. And 31 is a strikeout. So he whiffs Garrett. Next is Felix Mian, who's 0 for 4 today. That's a 6-63. And that's going to be a bounce to the third. Bando out at first, 2 down. Willie Mays now with 2 out and nobody on here in the 11th inning. One tied at 1. It's a 5-14. And that will be ball 4. So that Mian walks here, puts the go-ahead run on first base with 2 outs. Next up is Jones, Cleon Jones. Let's do it. That's a 6-42. And that's going to be here, and that 42 is ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Darryl Knowles. And Milner lefty. We're going to leave Knowles in there to face Milner, see what happens. Here's a pitch. It's a 4-43. And that is a ground ball to first. Tennis is there, and that retires the side. So no runs, no hits, 2 left because of the 2 walks. We go to the bottom of the 11th with Fosse, Green, and the pitcher spot coming up. All right, Tug McGraw facing Fosse, Green, and then the pitcher spot. And that's a 6-42. And it's a fly ball center. Oh no, that's a hit. That's going to be a potential hit. So we're going to roll on the power chart. And that's a 415. So a 415 is going to be a 104 minus. No. Oh, minus 2. I believe that's, well, there's 2 PAs, but this says relief, so minus 2. So what did I say it was? It was 415, 104 minus 2, so it's a 102, 102. Oh, and that just misses a double, but it's going to be a drive in the gap. That's going to split the outfielders. The ball rolls away from Hahn in right field, right center field, and Fosse's digging for 3, and he is safe with a triple. Ray Fosse connects for a triple. So that minus 2 gave the 104 and 102, and that just falls into the triple range. Fosse had, 2 triples and 500 at bat. So I've gotten a bunch of triples here over a long course of a season. If I've gotten hit on all these triples for guys that barely hit triples, my concern is that they're going to get a lot of triples. So we'll see what happens in the rest of the series. While we get a feel for the game, we're not going to judge anything until we continue to play it and learn a little bit more. So the Mets are going to bring everybody in on the grass. The infield's got to be in here. And here's the pitch from Tug McGraw to Dick Green. And it's a 454. So a 454, and that's going to be he is a righty, so this will be a G6 with the infield in. All right, so I just looked at the infield in chart, and it's super duper easy to follow. You just have to roll. Must have runner on third. Only used on ground balls. Infielding results to the catcher, blah, 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 blah. It's real easy. Roll one die. So it's 1 to 6. It tells you what happens. It's beautiful. It's easy to understand. But I do have a homebrew that overrides whatever it says on the infield in chart. And that's with a runner on third and nobody out. The runner automatically holds. So that'll be a ground ball to the shortstop who's in. And there was no hit, so I don't have to worry about an advance. Right? If there's a hit there somewhere. And one thing about that is I didn't see any hits. Runner on third holds, runner holds, so no runner, runner fourth holds, batter steals, second, runner on third scores, all runners advance one base, batter out, runner advance one base, runner out at home, all runners hold. There must be a rule where there's a hit, but I don't see the hit, so I'm going to have to look a little bit deeper into that, because at some point the infield in is going to bring about a hit. So we'll find out more about that as we go. All right. So let's continue. The winning run is at third base. I could actually do a pinch runner here, which I probably should. I'll bring in Mangual to pinch run. Put in there. And and now it's going to be a pinch hitter. And it's going to be Billy Conigliaro pinch hitting. Pinch hitter, and that is in the 11th. And let's do it. Here's a pitch from, put it in the wrong spot. Tug McGraw. That's a 423, and a 420-23 is a fly ball center field. Will this fly ball be deep enough? That's a good question. All right, so it's hits center field. Willie Mays is a 3, so with a runner on third only, it says batter flies out, third base holds. Runner may attempt to score only if their steal rating is a +4. He's a 2 steal rating. I had nobody with a good steal rating. I'm surprised at that. This is the Oakland A's, but that will be out number 2. So the Mets are 1 out away from getting out of a huge jam with a leadoff triple by Fossey, who's been since replaced with the pinch runner Mangual. And it's going to be Bert Campaneris. Campaneris has 4 hits. He's got 2 doubles, a triple, and a single today. And he sacrificed earlier in the game. And here he is with the winning run at third base against Tug McGraw. Here's a pitch. It's a 1, so that's going to be a 1 and a 26, and that's going to be a fly ball in the gap. Left center field running is Jones, and Jones comes up with it. Great running catch by Cleon Jones. And that retires a side. No runs. 1 left. A leadoff triple. And Tug McGraw comes up huge. All right, so Tennis is taking over the catching duties for the A's. The first baseman is going to be Vic Davalillo. And the new pitcher is going to be Raleigh Fingers. Raleigh Fingers on the mound for the A's here in the 12th inning. The Mets at the bottom of the order, Grody, Hahn, Harrelson, and then if anybody gets on, of course, we'll probably see a pinch hitter. And let's do it. Here's Raleigh Fingers looking in at Tennis for the sign. He winds and deals. And that is a 4, and a 4 and a 14, and that's potential pass ball, but no. Somebody on base. Let's do it again. And that is a 4 this time, a 4 and a 53. A 4 and a 53 is a strikeout. So Grody strikes out for the first out of the inning. Raleigh Fingers, the handlebar mustache role model for the league. And Don Hahn. And that's a 522. A 522 is a hit. And we're going to roll on the power chart. Not a lot of home runs out of Hahn, but the relief is PA is 0. There's I guess this is a starter PA. And he's got his relief PA. All right, so again, this is a learning opportunity, the first game, so I'm not going to freak. So I had to do a quick little bit of research, and I'm going to just roll again. It's going to be Don Hahn versus Raleigh Fingers. I figured out that you only use the relief when PA in blue when there is a save situation. In this case, the power adjustment would be a -12. That's um, pretty large number there. So let's roll again for Don Hahn, and it's going to be a 6 and a 45. So he's a righty, so a 6 and a 45 is going to be a fly ball to left for out number 2. So fingers efficient, 2 batters, 2 outs. And here's Buddy Harrelson. He'll bat lefty. He's a switch hitter. Buddy today is 1 for 4 with a double in the second. Drove in a run. That's a 5 and a 63. 5 and a 63 is a strikeout. So Buddy Harrelson swings and misses and goes down on strikes. That's 3 up and 3 down in the 12th for the Mets. And here come the A's. It's going to be Rudy, Bando, and Jackson. All right, Joe Rudy today, he's 0 for 4 with a walk. That's a 645. 645 is a hit. He's a righty, so it's a hit to right center field. And we're going to roll again on the power chart. Power adjustment is 0. Oh, I think it's PA 7F is +10. Yeah, and that's only used for shutouts. So that's a, let's see what happens, a 226, and that will be a single base hit leading off. Bando's next, and that's a 212. And a 212 is a strikeout. So Bando swings and misses at a Tug McGraw fastball. Next is Reginald Martinez Jackson, lefty on lefty. Here's the pitch from Tug, and that is a 656. So a 656 is going to be ball 4. So that pushes Rudy, the winning run, to second base for Gene Tenace. Gene Tenace is 1 for 5 today. He singled, struck out, flied out, struck out, and grounded out. And Tug McGraw is in a predicament, and here's the pitch. And that is a 231. And a 231 is going to be, oh, that's a drive in the gap, and that's going to drop in there. And Rudy comes around to score. The A's win it on a Gene Tenace double in the bottom of the 12th inning, 1 run on 2 hits, and Gene Tenace gets mobbed by his teammates. The A's take game 1 by a score of 2-1. And here's the pitch baseball. A walk-off game winner by Gene Tenace. The inning started. McGraw allowed Rudy a hit. Then Bando struck out. Then Jackson walked. And then Tenace, he ripped one into the gap, and that scored Rudy for the game winner. It's 2 runs, 12 hits, and no errors for the A's. The Mets really struggled offensively. They had 1 run, 5 hits, and no errors. Game 1 goes to the A's, and they lead the series 1-0, and Game 2 is coming up. Hope you enjoyed the presentation of Here's the Pitch. And this is Tony Porter, Cards and Dice TV. Remember to join Universal Baseball Association Facebook group and all its affiliated groups, and like and subscribe my channel. I appreciate it greatly. I will see you very, very soon.